And we are live here on, I don't know what I was about to say, but it wasn't going to be right. We're live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Vicinda, Chief Alchemist over at Plus One EXP, which is a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard, and skincare alchemy in the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope and desire is to help amazing designers find great players who love their games and help amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. We do that in a lot of different ways, but the most fun one is sitting down with those creators to play that game. Today we have two members of the creative team from 321 Action Games Next Amazing RPG. That's John Hambone McGuire. We also have Sally, who's one of the artists with us. Let's meet John first. So John, tell us who you are, what you do, where folks can find you online, but also tell us a little bit about Children of Uma.
Well, I'm John Hambone McGuire. I'm the co-host of the Vintage RPG podcast, and I'm the co-creator and co-writer of 321 Action Children of Uma. You can find me across social media at John McGuire RPG. I managed to pull that one out, which I thought was excellent. Children of Uma is the third adventure book being released by 321 Action. It takes place in 2060 Kansas. Post-apocalypse, new era of the Dust Bowl. You are a group of teenagers, a band called the Helsings, and you are driving electric and carbon-powered cars on a quest to reclaim what's yours and be able to provide for the other lost children in the apocalypse.
Awesome. I am super excited to get to play this game again, but for the first time on stream. I'm a huge fan of the 321 Action system. I also love the setting and the way that John writes these games. Super excited to dive in again. But let's meet our other players. I already mentioned them once. Sally, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online. If you want to drop a little bit about what it was like to bring some of the visual realities to life and Children of Uma, feel free.
Yeah, I'm Sally Cantorino. I am primarily a comic book artist. I worked on Human Remains and I Welcome Monsters over at Ball Comics. I also do RPG art, and I did the cover, the character designs, and some of the interior art for Children of Uma.
Awesome.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Sally_Cantorino. Good luck spelling my last name. One day I'll be able to steal somebody's much easier to spell last name.
Awesome. I'm super excited to get to play with you. Again, we got to play in one of the play test sessions. Very excited. This is your first time streaming. Also, anybody who's like, why can we only see half of Sally and half of John on the stream? It's because they're in the same room, but I still gave them each their own space. And so just FYI, if you think that you've discovered that, you did in fact discover that. Next up, we've got not first time on stream, but first time I think playing as a player on stream. We've got BananaChan. Banana, tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online.
Hello, I'm BananaChan. I am a game designer and games publisher. You can find me online on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at BananaChan Games, and I am very excited to play this game.
Oh, awesome.
With that said, we always use a couple different tools when we are sitting down to play a game. These are lines, veils, and the X card. We have a strong line against sexual violence on the channel, but everything else we like to include as part of the conversation opening play. We also talk about it a little bit before and then again while we are live. So does anybody have any lines, things that happen in the world of the game but may not happen in the course, that won't happen in the course of our play of it? Veils, things that may happen in the course of play but are handled delicately. We might fade to black, just move forward, approach it from a certain perspective. Anybody have any of those that they'd like to add?
I don't think so.
Cool. If things come up, let us know by using the X card, which just lets us pause the game, identify what an issue is, and then we'll move forward in a different direction, kind of removing whatever that content is. You can also use it if something's unclear, you need us to pause and use clarity. You can just say or type X into the Discord where we're using it for our chat, and we'll figure out what it is and move forward in a different direction. We also use an open door policy. We're all real people, so if we need to pause, get up, move around, talk to somebody off screen, that's all normal stuff that you might need to do while you're watching us, and if we need to do it while we're playing, we'll do it. So with that said, those are just some of the ways that we keep everybody comfortable here on stream. I'm going to hand things over to John to talk to us a little bit about Children of Uma and get us started.
Thanks, Tony. So Children of Uma takes place in the same universe as Rocket to Russia and Point Nemo. You don't need to have played either of those games to really enjoy the experience of Children of Uma. I grew up in New Jersey. I still live in New Jersey, and pretty much for me, the entire world revolves around New Jersey. So even though we're going to be in the Midwest in Kansas, the world does spread out from the Garden State, and it will consistently ripple through all 3-2-1 action RPG games. Now, one thing that does pop up in Rocket to Russia and Point Nemo is there is a mutated group of fish people called the Amphicora. Years after the events that took place in 2007, 2060 in Kansas, the world's been through an apocalypse. The Amphicora have invaded every country. There's a coastal battle waged around the world. Most of the world's resources ended up being used in the war, leaving huge swaths of the country forgotten. So the Hellsing story takes place in Kansas. However, it doesn't look like Kansas as we know it now. Global warming and staggering resources used to fight in the wars led to a modern day version of the Dust Bowl. So most food production occurs in vertical farms and coastal warehouses. Most traditional middle-class farms are abandoned. Massive 1,000-foot dust storms loom on the horizon at all times, blocking out the sun. And they really can spring up at a moment's notice. So the state of the world has left a lot of broken families and orphans behind. They gather together in clans and bands, and they look out for one another, fighting over the scarce resources in their territories. And they make do with some of the military's technological advancements. So in Children of Uma, you're playing as the Hellsings. This gang was started by Croc. He was an ex-enforcer for the Black Swans, one of the higher-up gangs in the scene. And one day, while listening to his favorite band, the Hellsings, he felt divine inspiration to start his clan in the Wasteland, a clan of wild animals reclaiming a world forgotten. So this is a vehicle battle RPG. You're going to be using electric vehicles, carbon-powered vehicles, and no shortage of ammo here. So if you're used to any kind of like post-apocalyptic film or movie or book where they're scrounging to try to find bullets, the one thing about being in America is we will never run out of bullets. So there's plenty of ammo to be found. There are cool vehicles throughout the game. We're not going to get to upgrading the vehicles today, but you will be able to upgrade your vehicles throughout the course of the actual book of Children of Uma. Does anyone have any questions? All right, very cool. So before we get started, why don't we go around and why don't you each tell the viewers who you're playing in Children of Uma?
I can go first. I'm playing Cat Caddy. I'm 16 years old from Bellevue, Kansas. Use she, her pronouns. I have a lot of energy. I can't stand still. I was a mechanic apprentice who worked on Croc's bike and was one of the first people that Croc recruited into the Hellsings when the Black Swans were going to punish me for cannibalizing parts to work on secret projects. I have a bandolier toolkit, hydro spanner, shock batons, and Cheetos. Also, too. Very importantly, I have a pet prairie dog named Squeegee. Does not take him an inventory slot. The Cheetos are his favorite snack, and he'll be safe if anybody's worried. One of Squeegee's wonderful things is they'll be safe. Don't worry, because I know everybody instantly was. I have a special ability called 9 Lives also too, which lets me sacrifice vehicle points to help heal people luck and helps fix vehicles when they are badly damaged.
Very cool. How about you?
Scott, real quick, Scott over on Facebook is also asking, what is this? What is the core system of this game? It's called 3-2-1 Action. It's a very simple D10 system, phenomenal for cinematic play. It is probably my favorite system to do cinematic style play in. And so you can go check out some of the existing ones over at 321actiongames.com. I believe will take you directly to all the stuff.
Free rule book and a free solo adventure. Just get in there, get it, and start playing, have fun with your friends.
Yep. Cool. Awesome. So that's Kat.
Cool. I can go next since I'm Kat's younger sister, Bat. Bat Alexis, she, her. She is 13. She's from Belleville. Her thing is that she is Kat's little sister, and like Kat's little sister, Kat, she has way too much energy. Her focus has always been in being an adrenaline junkie, finding high up places that no one else would dare go, and then jumping off. So she's got a wingsuit, of course, because she is into bats, a Morbius brick, and a handgun. And my special ability is that I have the energy vampire ability. So instead of attacking, I can use my wingsuit to fly over people and drain people's energy.
Yeah, it comes in very handy when you have a buddy in need of more luck points for their vehicles. You can actually siphon them off and give them to your friends to keep their vehicles going longer. So we love that.
Nice.
I am playing Owl. She is 14. She's from Wichita, Kansas, and she is the resident hacker. And she has drones. So watch out. I'm going to steal your car.
It's very possible. Now, why doesn't everyone tell the viewers what vehicles they're going to be driving or piloting?
Yeah. I'm going to scroll down.
I know which vehicle I want. So I'll start. I want to be in that gyrocopter.
Okay.
So I'll be your mom picking you up from from whatever vehicle you're on when things get bad.
I do love the gyrocopter. I don't feel like I've seen the dirt bikes in action. I think I'm just going to take a dirt bike.
Good call.
I was thinking the glider because of Bat's flying thing. And also maybe I could like fly alongside the gyrocopter, but probably at a lower altitude.
Absolutely. So one thing to bear in mind is that this first episode, you are chasing a caravan. So just always imagine you're going at top speed. The cool thing about 3, 2, 1 action is you're not necessarily worried about movement or can I get there. It's you tell me, the game runner, where you want to go and what you want to do. So if you're like, you know what, I want to ride on my dirt bike and use a wrecked car to like jump over and drop a grenade on someone, cool. You know, most things will be done using the single D10 to make an action check or whatever check is applicable in the situation. But it's more about really cinematic storytelling. If you've seen something cool done in the Fast and the Furious movies and you want to do that, you just let me know and I'll make it so with just one roll. Maybe there's a penalty. Maybe there's a bonus. Maybe I ask you to fill the plot hole in 2 sentences to aid in you getting a better rate on your penalty. But we can all take care of that. But you're going always just imagine, unless you let me know you're going top speed. This is a high speed chase. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that we use luck points and not hit points. So your vehicle actually has its own set of luck points. So if your vehicle is being attacked by another vehicle, your luck point total will subtract from that vehicle. If you want to commandeer someone else's vehicle or someone wants to try to jump on your vehicle, you can do that. And we encourage that because sometimes you're going to come across some cooler vehicles that you're going to want to steal. You cannot directly target with your guns the driver of another vehicle. The only way you can actually target a driver is to get on their vehicle and fight them or try to take them out on the vehicle. So just bear that in mind. No one is going to just one-shot kill you while you're driving your car, unless they are the luckiest person in the world and they're actually going to be able to kick you out of that driver's seat. If your car wrecks, it's destroyed. You're not going to die. You're going to roll out, and you still have your own pool of luck points and your own guts points to deal with. And you could steal someone else's car, get picked up by the gyrocopter or the glider. There's plenty of ways to stay alive in this game until you die, which does happen. So just bear that in mind.
Awesome. Scott, who's also a designer over on Facebook, says, normally I shake my fist at competitors to Maximum Apocalypse, but I'm down for this. Went backed on Kickstarter. They think it's my calming beard that made the difference. But Scott, thanks for going and backing. Anybody who wants to go check out the live Kickstarter right now, go to ttrpg.link /UmaKS or go to that 321 action games.com link and he'll take you right there.
Yep. Top link is always the Kickstarter. We need your money. All right. So is everyone ready? Does anyone have any questions?
Oh, I do have a question.
What's up?
Is it possible to just use the glider as a land vehicle and not actually fly?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. You use it as both. Like I said, until you can't, because people are going to be shooting at you.
Nice.
And just know at any point, please ask as many questions as you have. I'm going to, for the viewers at home especially, explain things as we go so everyone is on the same page. 3-2-1 action is really easy to pick up and play, and we are so glad that you're all taking the time to play it with us today. So without further ado, episode 1 of Children of Uma. Our clan is small, real small, about 20 heads, but you're all mad as hell. Crazier than a squad of bots. The Helsings have been making a reputation. They say the world's fixing itself, but who wants to wait 150 million years? We need to live now, Croc says. Kilo is a scumbag information broker who said the Death Point Raiders caravan was going to be riding up 31 past the ash fields. Kilo said they was going to be carrying guns, drugs, and fun. He also said a lot of Death Point Raiders got wasted last quarter moon, so we should be park walking. They're going to be looking to relocate their operation. Score put his number one, the Naza, in charge of taking out this one, so it should be light and tight. The plan here is first you take out the rear guard. They're down on rides, so you need to blow the barracks. That'll take out a bunch of soldiers. Then cap the music man, and that'll make them disarray. Then you take out the Naza, and you'll be cutting off Scorp's right hand. And then we run the planes. So you're all sitting around the briefing at the silo as you're about to go on this mission. It's earlier in the morning than anybody would normally wake up, but you've got a purpose. You got a lot of mouths to feed back at the camp. And, you know this look in Croc's eyes, that look that has taken you from the gravel into the hills. And as your leader, nobody messes with Croc. Everybody listens to Croc because he's the man with the plan. Now, listen, he says, I don't trust kilos. Keep your eyes peeled for trouble. At 6 a.m., you ride and you take what's theirs. So you gear up, you get to your vehicles, you say your goodbyes to the other children in the camp, and you pull up to a little embankment on the highway. And you're watching from a distance. You got Fox in the hills as a spotter. You're going to get the word over your headset when it's time. But you look around you and you see that there is a wall of slitting dirt about a mile high, and it's in the east today. It's a blanket of filth that rises straight to the sky and blots out the sun. So it looks like a distant pearl centered in a quilt of pink and purple. It's a suffocating quilt blanketing 50 miles of stretch of broken highway between east and west. Now, on a positive note, at least the purple looks nice. You found a small red abandoned farm and a fallow cornfield. Most of you have the vehicles behind there, especially the bigger vehicles like the glider needs to stay a little more out of sight at first. This is the prime spot to spring your trap. You hear bass. It's the first thing you hear in the distance, shaking the earth like 1,000 hooves, relentless in time, growing louder with each beat. It's followed by the rumble, a lightning crash as thunder shaking the planet. Then it bursts, erupting past your cover. You actually hear the convoy before you see it, exploding up Route 31 at full speed. It's long, and as you're peeking out around there, it looks a lot longer than you thought it was going to be. It's a lot longer than the intel you got said it was going to be, and it actually takes some patience for it to pass. Enough free time goes by where you hear a voice in the back of your headset that says, this might not be the best idea, and then Croc comes over and says, it's time. Let's go. Start your engines. So one thing for those watching at home, if you see across social media, you can see what the Helsing's masks actually look like. I want to describe them to you real quick. Each Helsing has an individual personality. It really defines them. And it is portrayed through their motorcycle helmets that are shaped and modded to look like the animals that they are. So owl looks like they have an owl head. Cat has a cat head, and bat has a bat head. All drawn by Sally. They look awesome. I'm not very biased, but that's how you know the difference between your characters. And you are off to the races. You hit the highway, and you're going full speed. The first thing that you see is the back of the caravan. There are two dweebs on motorcycles. Now, the Death Point Raiders have two different types of squad guys that work for them. They got dweebs that look like they just joined ROTC, and they got muscle dweebs that look like they've been on the gas for a while and working hard in the yard. So once they're done banging and clanging, they're on their bikes and they're protecting the back of this convoy. Now, the one thing that you see ahead of them is a school bus. Now, this school bus is a mobile barracks. It's got treads on it like a tank. It's got a side-mounted pod that swings around with a cannon, kind of like you see on a classic warplane. There's a little rack on the roof for people to stand and take pot shots at you. The other side is covered in spikes, and you can't see the front, but you do see the 2 motorcycles at the back of the crew here. So there's no initiative in 3-2-1 action. The players will always go first unless it's specifically a trap, which doesn't happen too often. So you just let me know what you want to do, and then we're going to make it so. Now, what I'm going to do for the people who are playing in the chat, there is going to be a little map that I'm drawing up here. B is for bus. 1 and 2 are for the bad dudes, and then your initials in real life are going to be on the screen as well. So you always know where you're at in the battle. And I'm glad that you all have different first names because this is going to make it a lot easier. All right. So
I'll make sure from time to time the audience can see the really intensive amount of graphic design that goes into these battle maps you're drawing.
Hold on a second here. And of course, it's not allowing me to show everything. But as I'm updating this, you guys are just right along the bottom here. These guys on bikes, they don't see you because it's loud. So one thing you know about the Music Man, and you've heard stories about the Music Man is like an ex-club DJ. He's got a mobile stage. It's been described to you as mobile Coachella on the back of a giant SUV. And his sound is drowning out any kind of sound that would be coming from you guys sliding into the battle. So let me see if this map works now. That's better. And let me get a picture of the bus, and y'all let me know what you want to do. So there's 2 dudes on bikes. B is for bus. Let's get crazy.
All right.
I want to pull up alongside that bus, but I want to take a shot, I think, at number 2 as I'm going past. So that's probably me pulling up alongside number 2 and taking a shot at their tires.
All right. Sounds good. And then what's everyone else doing? You guys can all go at the same time. You could have teamwork. Whatever works for you is what happens in the thing.
I think I'm going to follow along since I think my bigger sister would probably know best. So I'm just going to tag along.
All right, are you on the ground or are you going to be in the air?
Oh, I'm on the ground.
You are
think
a group of
Bat doesn't know how to
teenagers,
fly
a band
this yet,
called the
or at
Hellsings.
least fly the
And
glider.
you are, right.
And she's just learning how to do it.
All right, so Tony, you're going to be shooting, and Bat is on the ground in the glider. Bat, are you going to be shooting as well? Or are you just tagging along?
I'm going to shoot as well. Yeah.
Okay. Sally, what is Owl doing?
She's going to use one of her actions to shoot, and then her other action to drop a sticky pod on the bus. See if we can't start hacking it.
All right. Everyone roll their damage. Let me know what they got.
10.
Okay. So now, Banana in the glider, right?
Yes.
The damage that you do, you roll the d10 and then you subtract it from the damage that the weapon on the glider does. Now, are you using the machine gun on the glider?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so
7.
you do 8 points of damage.
Oh, okay.
So when you make a check, whether it's an action check, a brawn check, charm, whatever, you want to roll under your stat. When you are going to do damage, you want to roll high.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to be more damage. Tony, how much damage do you do?
You know, I realized something as I did that. I don't have any sort of weapon that's going to allow me to do that. So, which my character would have known. So I think what we see is like me pull up alongside and like just shock baton. Like, you know, when a teenager pulls up next to you on the highway and yells at you because your window's down, even though it shouldn't be because you're on the highway, it's not fuel efficient, and makes you swerve. I try to do the post-apocalyptic equivalent of that with my stun baton on their window.
Okay. And what's your damage?
Let's see. I rolled 9.
Awesome.
So actually something with the shock baton. Let me see. This is the problem with me doing 4 things at once. Shock baton. So 5.
Okay. And Sal, make a brains check for your drone.
Well, first I'm going to shoot at one of the raiders.
Okay, 1 or 2.
2.
Okay.
Shooting at 2, and I did 2 points of damage.
Okay.
And now I'm going to do my action check to fly my drone over. That is a 4, which means I pass. So
and you're going to drop it to the bus?
Yep,
Okay.
dropping it right on the hood of the bus.
So, the glider, Bat is cruising along in the glider, and it kind of looks ridiculous because it's just, you see the wings kind of flapping as the road is bouncing. But you use the front-facing cannons on the glider, and you start blasting at one of the motorcycles. We're going to say number 2. At the same time, from above you in the gyrocopter, Owl is laying down fire as well, hitting that motorcycle rider as well. And you can see the motorcycle rider kind of swerving and swaying, and they're reaching to try to grab their submachine gun to return fire. And at the same time, Kat comes roaring up on the dirt bike. Kat, do you say anything cool under your helmet as you jab the shock baton into the one rider?
No, I don't. Like I say something that like it's very obvious to the audience. Like Kat's trying to be cool, but like it doesn't land. Like Kat desperately wants to have good one-liners, but hasn't figured it out. So it's like surprise, and it's just not. It's not good at all.
All right, so you roll up there and you jab that shock baton into the one rider, and I blew my brawn check badly for the one rider, and then the other rider I blew the action check. So the one rider just, oh my gosh, he gets shocked and he loses control of the bike as the other rider is pulling out his submachine gun to return fire on Bat. The other bike rams into him. They both crash and wreck on the side of the road, and you've cleared the first 2 bikes.
All right.
We're so good at this game.
Yeah, you guys
We're
are
very good at this.
As
good at getting rid of the goons.
Yeah. As that happens, though, the hatch on top of the bus, and I dropped what the bus looks like in the chat so everyone can see it. A hatch pops off the top of the bus. 2 muscle dweebs with sniper rifles pop out of the top, and they start firing at the group. So 1 shot is going to Bat. And I did 2 luck points of damage to the glider. 1 shot is going to be going to Owl, and I did 4 luck points of damage to the gyrocopter. They don't see you yet, Kat. You're a little too close. Right now, you just have the bus in front of you, and you have the 2 guys on the roof. What do you want to do?
So I have the pod to hack the bus. I'm going to wait to hack it until somebody is on the bus to drive it. You know, like if somebody can get into the driver's seat or is actually physically on the bus, I'll start hacking it. So I think for now, I'm going to just try to shoot at those dudes on the roof with my Gatling gun.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to do my special action, which is the bullet strafe. So I will deal 6 luck points damage to all foes unless they can make a successful action check +2 to dodge.
So 1 failed, 1 made it.
All right. So one of them is taking 6 luck points
damage. That guy screams out in pain, and he falls backwards, but doesn't fall off the bus. He is going to make an action check, and he makes his action check to hold on. What is everyone else doing?
I am pissed. So I am going to climb on top of my glider while it's still moving and try to use my wingsuit to drain some energy.
Okay, so you're going to fly up to the bus?
Yep, I'm going to try to land on the bus.
Okay, so make an action check for me.
All right.
Yeah. So you want to roll at or below your stat?
I got a 1.
Perfect. That's it. Yeah, you just magically and gracefully fly through the air. You kind of land on the back of the bus, kind of by where the back door is. You slap that brick on there. How much power do you take off the bus?
Oh, I got to roll again. I got a 5, so 5. That's a 3.
Cool. So you steal 3 luck points off of the bus,
Nice.
and you get when you get close to it, you see you could really see the green and black of the school bus, and you could see like it's green and black, but you could see it was really crappily painted over. So you see little flecks of yellow still underneath. They definitely didn't put a top coat on this thing.
Oof.
But you're looking around and you can see like the little tops of the windows. There's arms that are starting to try to reach out and throw garbage onto the road. It looks like an insect with like 20 small arms kind of sticking out of it. And it's all dweebs just literally throwing garbage and old bowling pins and like orange cones out of the little side windows onto the road. What are you doing, Tony?
So I want to pull up alongside the gun pod.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like that gun pod has a window on the front of it. Is that
So it's not necessarily a window, but it is. If you get up to the back of it, it's a hatch
okay?
that you could try to open up and
I
climb.
do want to pop that hatch.
Okay. Yeah. The window in front is. I mean, you could try, but you're going to be on the business end of the guns.
That's fine. That's that you got the intent of what I was looking for. Yeah, and cat would know. So cat's getting ready to pop that hatch on the back.
Okay. What are you going to use to try to pop the hatch?
I don't know what a hydro spanner is.
It's like a multi-tool screwdriver kind of thing. So that would work.
Yeah. So I think my thought was to try to just like pop the lock off with my multi-tool.
Okay, so you're going to use the Ghost Ride feature of your bike?
Yes.
Okay. Make a brains check for me.
I got it.
Okay. So you managed to see the Ghost Ride feature on the bike means the bike will ride alongside whatever vehicle, and you could use it to commandeer and jump on other vehicles. Because you're using a special feature, I'm not going to make you roll for it. So as this is happening, you've got Bat like stuck to the back of the bus, like stealing power. You've got Owl flying in the gyrocopter, shooting at people. But you managed to sneaky up on the bike, and you could see the actual turret starting to like shift like as it's about to turn. And you could hear the gears of the turret starting to turn as well. But you managed to get on there right before the turn. You jam the hydro spanner in there, and you managed to pop the hatch off easily. And what you see is a dweeb inside starting to maneuver the handles, getting ready to turn the gun from the front face towards the rear to try to take out your teammates. What do you do?
I think I grab his belt and then hit the brakes on my bike.
Okay. Make a brawn check for me.
Oh yeah, my best stat. I do not make it.
Okay, do you want to spend any luck points to make it?
I'll spend 2 luck points to make it.
All right. So you do that, and you manage to, you got your feet in almost the little parts above your ankles kind of gripping to the fuselage of your motorcycle. You lean forward just enough, you grab the dude and hit those brakes, and the bus keeps moving forward. You start sliding backwards. You're trying to balance. This dude goes yoink, and he goes flying out. He hits the road and he just tumbles off to the side. But the bus is moving forward. The dweebs on top are going to take their turn. One dweeb on top stands himself up, takes a shot at you with the rifle, does 5 luck points of damage to your motorcycle.
Okay.
And the other dweeb takes another shot at the gyrocopter because he does not see Bat just kind of hanging out there on the back of the bus. You're going to take 8 luck points of damage to the gyrocopter. As this is happening, Bat, make an action check for me.
All right. I got a 4.
All right, you make it. So as all this is happening, you hear all the dweebs in the bus yelling and screaming and getting hyped for battle, and they're yelling up and slamming their fists on the roof to try to let the snipers know that there's the guy in that cat on the dirt bike is right on the side of the thing, and they're yelling for the guy in the turret, but they don't know he's out yet. The door pops open off the back, and you barely manage to get out of the way as two dweebs on mini bikes. Like those like dirt bikes that you see like a lot of kids have that aren't really full size dirt bikes, but they're still like very disapprovingly used in front of their parents. They pop out and they start racing down and start whipping chains at the glider because they don't realize that there's no one in it. So they're circling around, they're whipping the glider with their chains. And I blew the rolls on both those. They're not fully there yet, realizing that the glider is unmanned, as it were. While all this is happening, other dweebs are throwing out garbage into the road, like old stop signs, like someone's old like CRT television. So the glider is on autopilot. Banana, make an action check +2 for me, please.
So that's a 6 + 2, so it's an 8.
What's the glider's action stat?
The glider's action stat is 8.
So the glider manages to dodge the debris as it's going. This is like the best case scenario for your like Tesla on autopilot here. Not driving itself into a $1 million plane at an air show. It's now the band's turn. What do you guys want to do?
I have a fun idea. I'm on my intercom and I'm just like, hey Bat, I might owe you a new glider. I would like to try to take the winch and hook it onto that round thing at the back of the glider and flip it up and try to whack these two mini bike guys with the wide wings of the glider.
That's a great idea. We should definitely do it.
All right.
I love it. So what's Bat doing while this is happening?
Bat is going to take out her handgun and start shooting at the arms that are throwing stuff out of the windows.
Okay, roll two damage rolls for me, please.
Okay.
And Tony, what is oh God, you guys doing this thing with the glider. What's Cat doing?
Cat's turning Ghost Rider back on, pulling back up, and climbing into the turret spot.
Okay. Very cool. What was your damage, Banana?
So I got a 5 and a 10. So the first one hit. And I think Bat's got this handgun out. She like aims it properly and she just like shoots at someone's arm. They let go of like a street sign or something, and it somehow manages to end up like far away in the desert, and then she tries shooting again, but then she says like something witty like, "I'm gonna hug you with bullets," and it
family
just
trait.
hit.
I love it. Sometimes it's worth missing if you can get a line like that out. Sally, make an action check +2 for me to try to hook this fish.
Is it my action or the plane's action?
Plane's action, yeah.
Okay. That's a +2. That's a 7. That makes it.
Okay. So the dweebs on the little mini bikes, they come swinging back around. Now they're mad. And so they're getting their chains ready. One of them starts lighting up a Molotov cocktail, and they're about to throw a Molotov cocktail at the glider. And all of a sudden, like from the sky, they see the gyrocopter come down, and you hear like this weird clicking sound and the weird grinding. And the one has the Molotov cocktail, and his eyes get real big because as he's getting ready to throw it, the glider just tips forward and starts racing for them. It's like the most, Warner Brothers like Wile E. Coyote thing, because they're like, oh shit, and then splat. They both get whacked. Both mini bikes skid underneath the glider's wings. They both get yeeted off screen. The glider is gonna take 8 luck points of damage from impacting and make a guts check for me, Banana, on the glider So you want to roll
I got a 9.
9. Okay, so how this works in Children of Uma is when you are a person or a player or a character in 3-2-1 action, you've got luck points, which are for things that make you bleed. Guts points are for things that are your overall bodily well-being. So if you like fall down a flight of stairs, you've got a bad hangover, you twist your ankle walking off a high curb, stuff like that is going to make your day-to-day operations harder. So when you have 3 failed guts penalties, all your stats lower by 1. When you have 4 failed guts penalties, you die. Now, in Children of Uma, when it comes to the vehicles, it's the same thing. Luck points are things that, just general damage, things that make you bleed, as it were. Guts are the overall bodily and structural integrity of your vehicle. So it's not necessarily that you would want to spend luck points to pass your guts checks in this, because constantly you're going to want to be commandeering other vehicles. However, if you really need that vehicle, you might want to do it. Right now, though, first part of this episode, I'm going to say maybe don't spend luck points to fix the guts thing. So you have 1 ongoing guts penalty for the glider. But listen, if you're going to get a guts penalty, that's the way to do it. So these dudes on mini bikes get wasted, and you're shooting at the dudes inside. Kat, you are in the turret. You've got control of the turret. Your motorcycle is riding along the bus. As all this is happening, you hear the sound of bass, but now the sound of the bass is kind of coming in your direction. You can see ahead of you the Music Man's SUV starting to slow down just a little bit, as there is kind of a concern that something is going on with the bus. What do you all want to do?
Am I in the turret?
You are in the turret, yeah.
I want to see how far down I can point the guns.
You can hit the Music Man.
Oh no, that wasn't what I was thinking about. Though that's a better idea than what I was thinking.
Oh, you want to aim it at the ground? Oh yeah, you could easily. So the way the turret, for people who are watching at home who may not see the picture, if you want to envision it, the turret will go essentially 180 degrees. So it can go a little less than the horizon up to the other horizon in the back. But yeah, you could absolutely go a little bit lower and shoot at the road, although no one would have thought of that because it's their vehicle.
What I would love to have done, knowing that now, if you're all right, I would love to have parked my motorcycle at the lowest apex of the like 180 degree cycle, like near the ground also too. I want to shoot my motorcycle and the ground and try to flip the bus over.
Okay. So yes, absolutely. Let me see here. So the passenger side turret, it's damage 0. Okay. Roll a d10 for me.
Okay. 7.
Okay. So while it's happening, you don't actually see it because you're really sideways and facing forward. The glider taking out the dweebs, and as all this is happening, you hear gunfire, but you don't know you don't know who's shooting at who. But you manage to get that bike going just the right way, where you kind of step out for a second and kind of kick the bike at the rear of it. It kind of slides forward, and it hits the skids of the tread of the bus, and it's kind of stuck halfway underneath, like half under the bus, half outside the bus. You can wiggle back in the turret, you fire at it, hit the gas tank, and in this it's going to be electrical, but there's still grease and goo and other fun things that keep these motorcycles going. There is an explosion, and the bus starts flipping forward from the back into the air. Banana, and Tony, both of you make an action check +3
I do yell jump
to dive clear.
Wait, can I get in with my, since I'm on the gyrocopter, I've got the winch.
Mhm.
I'm gonna see that on the back of the bus and try to pick her up to see like.
All right.
Mom's coming to pick you up from school.
I need a ride.
So then, for you, Banana, it's just an action check +1.
Okay. Let's do that again. 5
That's not
plus
around.
1,
I'm
so
not gonna
that's
get
a
into that
6.
turret.
What's that?
Oh, I got a 6.
All right, you're good. Tony, yeah, you're an action check +3.
I rolled I rolled a 9. I'm sorry, I rolled a 6. I scored a 9. That is not underneath my action.
Do you want to use any luck points to make the roll?
That seems like a good idea. I'll use another 2.
Okay.
To get it down
You
to.
managed to dive clear at the last second as the bus hits and explodes. You hit the pavement, you tumble, you roll. The gyrocopter is pulling up to you. Not the gyrocopter, the glider is pulling up to you. And in the distance, you could see clearly above the explosion as the bus splits in two and kind of opens up against the road. You can see the Music Man, and you hear over the microphone, he's like, "You want some fight music? Well, let's see them hands reach for the sky." And I dropped a picture of the Music Man's SUV into the chat. If you can imagine Jabba the Hutt's floating palace, but all speakers and on the roof of an SUV, that's what the Music Man's ride looks like. He hits a button and steam shoots out the side of his SUV. And when it clears, you can see 2 ATVs riding in your direction with 2, essentially imagine 2 people who'd be attending Burning Man, flanked with spiked maces coming in your direction. So what do you want to do?
First of all, I want to note that the Music Man's catchphrase was very good, and we should learn from that.
You get out a little notebook and you're writing down his one-liners. Like, we're gonna kill him so I can steal these later.
All right, so they're coming at you now. M is for Music Man, 1, 2 are for the ATVs. I'm going to put you across the line on the bottom again because you're all coming into the screen again. So this is scene number 2, Waste That Base.
So you're still hanging on to my gyrocopter. If you want me to swing you over to land on and drop you off and dropping you off at soccer practice.
Yes.
Before we start scene number 2, could we take a short, 5-minute break? So
Absolutely.
for anybody out there watching, I was supposed to go to my grandfather's funeral this week. My oldest child just contracted COVID. So we're in the middle of figuring all that, right before we started streaming, he tested positive. So I'm in the middle of figuring all that stuff out. We're going to take a 5-minute break. And we'll come back for scene number 2 of Children of Uma for 3, 2, 1 action RPG. In the meantime, the best thing you can do while you're waiting is go to ttrpg.link /UmaKS. Check that out, or go to 321actiongames.com and check out all the amazing things that are already out. And we'll be back in just about 5 minutes.
Awesome. Cool.
We are live again here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel, playing Children of Uma, the newest installation in the 3-2-1 action. Is there a name for the world that you are building, John? I don't know if you've ever talked about this.
You know, I mean, as of now, no. It's our world. It's our world. There's they all kind of flow together until we go to space. It's still just going to be Earth. But yeah, there's no, and then, the fantasy realm will probably be Earth as well, just at a different time.
Oh, I didn't know if it was like the McGuire verse or whatever else. I know it's just our planet. But
we honestly, we haven't gotten that far yet because we keep going on little tangents. Like we started doing pamphlet zines, doing solo play pamphlet zines to help people get used to the experience of playing action. And it went from we were working on this to then, we did one for Escape from Point Nemo. We did one for this, and then we have a horror one that I should be getting back any day to really start, building the world of horror in 3-2-1 action.
Yeah. For anybody who's not familiar with this, if you can go watch past actual plays of the first two full books, but there's all those other pieces that are coming back out on our channel. Like I said, you can head to Exalted Funeral to check that out. All that information's at 321actiongames.com. But I love the world building that you have going across all of them. So if you have a thought right now on what John should call the shared continuity of all these universes, feel free to drop them in the chat or the comments.
We're open to ideas.
Let us know. But yeah, with that said, I'm going to hand things back over to you to take us into scene 2.
All right. Well, if you're just tuning in right now, the Helsings rolled up on a mobile barracks that is a old school bus that they turn into a war base. They've taken out bikers. They've taken out the entire bus. And before them right now is a mobile stage on top of an SUV. If you can imagine Jabba the Hutt's palace, except on top of an SUV, surrounded by speakers. They are about to face the Music Man. As the Music Man came into play, 2 Burning Man dudes on ATV start riding back towards the party. Owl is taking Bat over to the Music Man's SUV in the gyrocopter. Bat is hanging off on a rope. Tony, what's Cat doing? You were on the ground. The glider was kind of rolling up to you.
Yeah, I think we see like the glider kind of like Cat kind of like bounce out, roll across the sand right as the glider is coming up. And so they like kind of grab the underwing handle that, man, if those guys on mini bikes had known we're there, that would have been really helpful for them. I just swing myself into the driver's seat.
All right. So the ATVs are gonna encounter you before you can take off. But what does everybody want to do?
I'm going to give the audience a sense of the detailed diagrams that John draws as we're playing, so they can just see how complex GMing the game is behind the scenes. This is what John's posted for us to help us know what we're up against. And so I don't want other GMs to be intimidated. The game gives you all the tools you need to play.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing is that, granted, I love the look of a Dungeon Master screen, absolutely. But there is no need for it because you are not in an adversarial role in 3-2-1 action against the players. You're a member of the team. You're just facilitating the story. And, one cool thing I got years ago, I've been in the service industry for a long time, previous to about 10 years ago. And one of the cool things I would see would be on Sunday, the football games would be on, and I don't watch sports. However, I would watch all the diagrams, all the X's and O's. And since then, I've been using dry erase boards to show people where they are in battle. So everyone always knows. They don't have to worry about figuring it out and kind of losing the immersion. Now I do it. I do it on my Apple Notes. I just take my finger and I pull up the little magic marker thing and I just do it and I drop into the chat in Discord. So anybody can do it.
But if you want to create minis and do full-on tactical, great.
Oh, yeah.
Go for it.
Did I look on eBay the other night for micro machines and a car map? Maybe.
You just need that kids rug
with
all the roads.
That's it.
And some Matchbox cars.
That's it.
but just bleach out all the city parts and make it a wasteland.
Exactly.
Let me look at the glider while everybody else decides what they want to do. Well, and I'll update you on where specifically I am after maybe their action takes place.
So do you want me to drop you off on the roof?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I will get dropped off on that roof.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't have a plan after that, but we'll figure it out.
Well, when she drops you off, is there anything you want to do?
Ooh.
I mean, I can like have you come in like feet first and maybe knock the dude down.
Is that like a sort of like a tent sort of thing?
It's a tent, yeah.
Oh, maybe I could just like drop right through.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
absolutely.
attack that tent.
Yeah.
And then we'll just shoot some stuff.
Okay. Roll 2 attacks.
All right. So I got a 6 the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and then an 8 the second.
Okay. That's pretty good. And Tony, what are you doing?
I think I'm in the glider, and on my turn, I actually think like because the glider took a guts damage, right?
Yeah.
I think like we see her just like Cat cursing about about Bat not taking proper care of their
Oh, come on.
and like we see wires being pulled out and smoking, and I'm going to use my 9 lives ability to, instead of attacking this turn, remove 1 ongoing guts penalty from any vehicle I'm
Okay.
riding
Very
in.
cool.
So,
and just so you know, you're all in each other's headsets, so your sister totally heard you.
absolutely,
Kat.
and it was I knew that.
Well, at least
Not that it wasn't like me that.
Oh no, 100%.
Yeah.
You've already forgotten it was me.
At least I use my vehicle.
Oh man, this
This is also after I shot my vehicle into pieces to flip.
Yeah. The hypocrisy is unruly at this point.
So I have my attacks.
Yeah, your attack stuff.
Yeah. You know what? I am going to try to shoot. I'm just going to use my regular old Gatling gun. Try to hit the ATV guys.
Okay.
So first attack on ATV number 1. That is a 9 minus 2, so that's 7 points of damage. Gatling gun to ATV number 2. So 6, so that's 4 damage.
Okay. So for those watching at home as well, everything automatically hits in 3, 2, 1 action. You just roll your damage. And what you'll do is, say for the gyrocopter, the damage is -2, so you roll a d10, subtract 2, and that's how much damage you do. The only time you technically miss is if you don't do any damage, but otherwise you're not rolling to hit and hoping for the best. You're gonna get the job done. So all this is happening. The Burning Man ATV riders are getting ready to start to attack the glider. Instead of attacking, Cat is actually healing the gliders, some of the damage on the glider, removing the guts penalty. The Music Man is up there getting ready to do whatever the Music Man's about to do. He's got like one headphone on his ear, the other one is off. He's reaching down for his decks. As he's doing that, you hear a tear in the ceiling, and Bat out of nowhere drops down and just starts blasting. It is that classic like Danny DeVito. So I just started shooting. You pop through, and the Music Man turns, but instead of a gun in his hand, it's just like a red Solo cup, and he sees you and he gets scared for a second. He squeezes, and like this black liquid just splashes everywhere. And you shoot him twice, and he falls back for a second. As the gyrocopter comes around and blasts one of the ATVs, you catch it just the right way. You hit a Molotov cocktail on the side. The one ATV explodes. So now it's just the other ATV on the ground versus the glider. It's now the enemy's turn. ATV goes and whacks the glider twice with its stick, its mace. But as it whacks it, it runs the other side along the ground. It's kind of like almost like a spear, and the other side engulfs in flames. So the one side hits it, and the glider takes 4 luck points damage. Now, with the other side coming and whipping around, hits the wing of the glider. The glider takes 9 points of damage, and the wing it starts to catch on fire, and the fire will start to spread every turn. The Music Man draws out a handgun and shoots wildly, misses with the first shot against Bat. Second shot is going to do 6 luck points of damage to Bat. and the Music Man is like trying to get up, and he reaches his hand up, and he slams the top of his deck. And as that happens, from the back of the Escalade, you feel a rumble, and he uses the special ability for the Escalade Foam Party. So the Music Man's Escalade blows non-flammable foam from its tailpipe that starts to expand and cover the road. Anything driving through it's going to receive a +2 penalty to their action checks. And the Music Man, anything on the ground, he's going to have a little bit of a damage resistance to anything on the ground. As this is happening, though, in the air, Owl, you see it first. There's another vehicle roaring down the road. It's broken the pattern. Now, the pattern for the rest of the way is you see another vehicle, you see 2 more motorcycles, and you see a giant semi-truck barreling forward on the road. The semi-truck is your target. Other vehicle starts turning, and it comes back towards the fray, and it's a vehicle that is completely enveloped in spikes. It's an El Camino, and I think El Caminos, just want to go on record here, are such cool-looking cars. El Camino, the front is a car, the back is a truck. The front's where you drive. The back is where you put all your plants when you go to the farmer's market. But it's going to be coming down the road. It's called Pinhead. It'll be in the battle next turn. What does everybody want to do?
You want me to pick you up, Kat?
To
ride out of that lady
no,
rider?
I think I got this. You see Kat
right.
pull up on the stick and take the glider into the air against all reasonability.
All right.
Let me see. Looking at all my stuff real quick. Everybody else say what they're doing, and then I'll come back around to me one more time.
I'm gonna use a drone for my first action. I'm gonna use a drone and drop it off on the Music Man Escalade.
Okay.
So, get my action check. Yeah, I'm gonna spend the 3 luck points to make that. Not really taking any damage.
All right.
And I'm just gonna use my Gatling gun to shoot at the other ATV guy. So 5 points of damage.
All right. You take out the ATV guy as he gets stuck in the foam.
I think what we see is like Cat's like pulling up because air is thinner up high. So like Cat's actively trying to get, even though the glider does not climb easily quickly, trying to basically go straight up so that she can try to like quelch the flames on the wing just to stop them from spreading. This is at this moment, because we haven't had enough feature, like Squeegee pops their head out of Cat's pocket and just goes like wah, wah, and then like dives back inside as Cheetos kind of fling out of her pocket. But yeah, I think I'm trying to like make the glider go up and then down fast enough to pop over this foam that's now on the road, but also quelch the flames. All
right, and what is Bat doing?
I think Bat's right in front of the Music Man, right?
Yep, you are in this. You're in the stage area.
I'm just
broke the tent. Yeah,
hanging out. Okay, cool. I am gonna take out my handgun, shoot at him, and I am going to use the catchphrase "School's out for summer," and then I'm gonna whisper at the rest of my teammates, "That's how it's done." Was that good?
That was great. Roll your damage.
I got a 9.
Right.
I'm gonna roll again, and that's a 3.
Okay, first shot is enough. And Sally, what are you doing?
I already did mine.
Oh, you did yours, yeah.
Yeah.
So you got the thing on there. You dropped some. You killed one of the ATV guys. Bat, you just got shot hard, but you managed to stay up, and you utter your line, and the one shot that you hit with is just enough to take the Music Man out. The Music Man is dead. But at the same time, you notice that the Music Man's Escalade is still driving forward. At the same turn, Bat, you can see the other dude on the ATV get shot up and stuck in the foam. And you manage to pull back on the stick just in time, and you take off, just narrowly missing the foam, and you fly straight up, and you get up, and you almost kind of eclipse the sun as if it was the moon, and it was the bat plane doing that bat symbol thing.
Absolutely.
And then you dive back down, and you manage to put out the fire in that movement with the swiftness at the air. But you do smell the material of the wings. It's just burning. It's getting you even under the mask. At this point, the Pinhead like pulls up and sees all the gunfire going, sees the Music Man go down, and just starts driving full speed at the Music Man's Escalade. So it is going to ram it head first, using its somebody to shove attack, and it is going to only do 2 points of damage. That was a terrible roll. But as it whips around, it is going to release. It's going to hit again, and at the same time, this time it does 14 points of damage to the Music Man's Escalade. And as it pulls away, it releases this a really blue speckled mist out of its tailpipe, and as it hits the ground, it turns everything to ice. It's got a punch buggy blue, which is an ice slick. So now the road is completely covered in ice. The Music Man's Escalade's got to make an action check +3, or it's going to start to hydroplane. And I don't make it. So the Music Man's Escalade starts to hydroplane. Pinhead is driving away from you for the time being because it needs to get ahead of what's happening here. So what is everyone going to do? That you're gonna have to make a decision because this giant mobile stage is now hydroplaning over ice.
Oh, I want to get out. I need a ride.
I'll swing in and grab you.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna grab you, but I want to do the check and see if I can hack the do I want to hack the vehicle itself, the SUV, or do I want to hack the weapon system and see? You know what? I'm gonna hack the weapon system.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming it's like spinning, and maybe I can still hit the hit Pinhead with the weapons. So that is a 6. You know what? I'm gonna use the 3 left points and do it. Okay, let's do it. And so I got the weapon system. Let me look over here and see what weapon I'm stealing.
So you have options here.
I got options.
So for those watching at home, the Music Man's Escalade has on the 1s and 2s, which it shoots out 4 buzzsaw blades, as if they're like Records Foam Party, which is not going to help you. The drop, you could actually do a sonic boom attack, which will result in an ongoing guts penalty. Or you can try to use the drop to try to move one of the potential storms in your direction. But so on the 1s and 2s, it's going to be 4 d10 minus 4 for each d10. So you have the potential of doing.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the 1s and 2s.
Okay, so roll 4d10 for me.
Still yours. So roll 2 at a time. 11 plus 6 plus 7, 13. So 24.
So you do 20 points of damage.
Cool.
Wow. Okay. So 20 points of damage to Pinhead. Pinhead feels it. Make an action check. Well, you're in the glider suit, right, Bat?
Yeah, I can glide out.
Yeah, so just make an action check, straight up action check for me.
All right. I got a 9.
Okay, what's your action?
7.
So you'd have to spend 2 luck points, or you'll see what happens as the Escalade flips.
I'll spend it.
Okay.
I'll be at 16 luck points, but that's fine.
And what's Cat doing?
So we've got Pinhead vehicle's been taken over, thing exploding. I think I'm targeting one of Pinhead's wheels.
Okay.
With one of the sticky bombs.
Okay.
To try to lock it up.
All right. Roll damage.
So that is going to be 12.
Oh wow. Okay. Jeez. So Gyrocopter's flying through the air. Owl's doing the little thing on the little mobile computer here. Manages, as the vehicle is hydroplaning, it turns and you hit the right button at the right time. 4 buzzsaw blades go flying at Pinhead, ripping into it. At the same time, the Escalade starts to flip, and Bat dives free using a little wingsuit to kind of glide away. Escalade wrecks and rolls off to the side of the road, followed by the glider coming in close, throwing out a sticky bomb. The Pinhead has 8 back wheels. It does pop one of the tires, and does do a good amount of damage to the frame of Pinhead. Pinhead is, I'm not going to say in terrible shape, but Pinhead's in bad shape. Pretty beat up. Now remember, if you ever want to commandeer a vehicle, if you make an action check +3, unless you can fill the plot hole in 2 sentences as to why, it's going to be easier for you to commandeer that vehicle. You can always try to take over a vehicle at any time in Children of Uma. As this is happening, you can see the semi-truck ahead of you, and 2 of the bikers that are guarding the back of it are going to peel off and try to join Pinhead on the road and try to come after you, or just do a little more fortification. What does everyone want to do?
Are they pulling up in? So they're coming towards us.
Now they're coming back towards you. Yeah,
they're slowing down essentially as we're accelerating.
Yep, and then just slowing down and kind of peeling off, and then coming back in your direction.
Awesome. I think I want to swoop like an arc around. So I'm actually gonna pop the glider. Doesn't really want to go up too easily right now, but I'm gonna pop it up a little bit and kind of do a swipe like in an arc in front of it, and use the smoke screen. So the glider kind of swoops down and leaves a smoke screen in its wake, like right in front of it.
Okay.
Just to try to create a little bit of confusion between where they're trying to come in and where Pinhead is driving to.
Okay. Not a problem. What's everybody else doing?
I'm still gliding, right?
Yeah.
Or am I? Okay.
You can glide over to another vehicle. You can glide wherever you want.
You can grab onto my thing.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, my winch. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm probably just gonna bullet strafe and try to hit that back row of 1 Pinhead and 2. So they have to make a action check +2.
Pinhead makes it. One guy doesn't. Second guy doesn't.
All right, so the 2 guys are both going to take 6 luck points of damage.
Okay.
I don't know if it matters, but that would have actually been +3 for Pinhead because of the smoke screen.
Oh, then Pinhead definitely didn't make it. Yeah. So, Bat, you can join the gyrocopter. You can try to commandeer either one of the motorcycles or Pinhead.
Oh, motorcycle too.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to take a motorcycle. I'm going to take a motorcycle. And
just make an action check +1 because you're already gliding.
Good point. I got a 4 + 1, so that's a 5.
You got it.
And yeah, I'll just shoot at stuff.
Okay. Make 1 damage roll for me.
8.
Got good dice today. All right. So, and what are you doing?
You
did the shots, right? Okay. So, glider comes flying down. In one fell swoop, swoops around, drops that smoke screen. you hear people yelling because now they can't really see through it. And as this is happening, bullets are just launching straight into that cloud, and you hear people yelling as they're getting hit. You hear the sound of bullets hitting metal. And through the cloud at the last second, Bat comes gliding in, and with a swift kick, you knock that one dude off of his motorcycle. And so now you'll be in control. I'll take one off the screen. You'll be in control of that motorcycle. Motorcycle stats are in the player pack that I sent you. And you just, as you land, you pull the gun out and you just shoot to your left, and you hit something. And that something was Pinhead. And now the smoke screen is gonna start to dissipate just a little bit, where you're actually starting to see some visibility between the other motorcycle and Pinhead. So the glider is back in the air, correct?
Glider's in the air, yeah.
So Pinhead is just gonna move forward to try to get out of the smoke screen because it really can't see what's going on. Motorcycle number 2 is going to shoot at your motorcycle. And it's going to do 6 points of damage to the motorcycle. And that is the motorcycle's turn. It's back to you all.
As Pinhead's trying to pull forward out of the smoke, I'm going to pull up into the smoke and then cut my engine and enter into stealth mode on the glider.
Okay.
Nice.
You are following behind Pinhead in the glider in stealth.
I'm above Pinhead in the glider on stealth.
Love it. All right. 1 second here.
Now S is the big tractor trailer.
That's the tractor trailer, yeah.
All right. You know what? Let's see. I have one more sticky pod that I can use.
So you're gonna fly up to the trailer?
No, I'm actually gonna put it on Pinhead's car.
Okay.
And then with my attack, use my Gatling gun on ACV number 2.
Okay.
Nope, that doesn't do anything.
Okay.
I rolled a 1.
Banana, what are you doing?
So I'm going to roll off my motorbike, my dirt bike, and I'm going to try and do that thing in action movies where people like swing their dirt bike into like a moving vehicle and try to like make an explosion.
On the other motorcycle?
Yeah, so at the tractor trailer.
Okay, so yeah, gotcha. All right. Make an action check +2 to dive clear.
All right. I got a 6 + 2, so that's an 8.
What's your action?
Oh, my action is 7.
So you probably want to spend a luck point, otherwise you're going to take damage as you fall.
I will do that. So I'm at 15 luck points now.
So are you looking to go to drop it like under the wheels, or
like into it somehow, like trying to like trip it over by like sort of like flinging it into one of the wheels by like using gravity somehow, action movie gravity, by like jumping off the motorcycle and then like doing a thing.
Okay. So
best description
ever.
No, that thing. We're gonna do the thing.
James Bond does it all the time.
I got you. So as all this is happening, you get a clear look at the semi. It's blazing on the highway in front of you. It's going full speed. And you hear Croc in your headset go, "Eyes on the prize, guys. We're almost there." And then you see a latch open, and Kilo leans out the back of the trailer. And he gets on a megaphone, and he's like, "While you're all out here, a bunch of dweebs are raiding your home base, wasting everybody. Bye-bye, Helsings. One less band in the wasteland." And as this is happening, Croc yells over your headset, "We've been double-crossed. Death Point Raiders are attacking the camp. You'll never make it back in time. Shut up, Kilo, permanently. So now, like, stuff's getting real. You have friends back home that you know are impacted by this. People are probably dying or dead. And in a fit of fury, as Cat is kind of grazing in and spotting its prey through the fog, Owl drops the pod to try to take control of Pinhead. But Bat, you're mad. So you kick that motorcycle into high, you race off the road, and you come back running, and you gun that motor as you hit a point of debris, and you do that sweet thing where, like, you know, you're kind of doing that like side kick on the motorcycle through the air. Do you have anything to say before you dive off to hit the trailer?
Another catchphrase. I'm vengeance.
Perfect. So, you dive and you hit the ground and you roll. The bike hits the side of the semi, not as high as it looked. Like, it definitely looked cooler from where you were than where you actually were. But it hits at the point where it's just right, and it hits the part that like connects from the wall of the semi to the base of it where like the wheels are, and the whole thing jerks sideways, and there is an explosion, and you hear Kilo going, "Oh shit!" And the entire semi arches and starts to skid down the highway to a stop. You smell burning rubber. You see tires popping and exploding. There is fire in the distance as it starts to burn. It starts to blow. Out from it, you see Kilo. You see he staggers out. He spits blood, and he's looking right at you. And he sees the Pinhead has kind of disappeared into the smoke and the fog. He's lost track of the other dude on the motorcycle. He spits out some blood, flips you the double bird, and he says, now you witness the true power of this semi-truck. And he dives back into the back of it. He kind of runs around a little corner, dives into the back of it. And he disappears. What do you want to do? It's the player's turn.
I mean, I was really like hoping I could commandeer the Pinhead car and drive. Well, I want to drive it right at him, like in Death Race 2000.
Okay. I mean,
you just like in the Death Race 2000 where they just drive straight into somebody and they've got the like horns on the front of the car. I just want to do that to a Kilo.
You can still do that.
This inglorious death.
Yeah. You're not gonna. You would hit the trailer, but he's in there.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I mean, I want to wreck the Pinhead car too. So, I've got burning luck points. Whatever. Who cares? So that is 9. I get a -3. We're good. Whatever. That's okay. That's
you got it.
Luck points.
What are you gonna do, Banana?
I think I'm just like I'm on the ground now.
Yeah.
I think I need a ride.
That's fine. As you say that, like all of a sudden, like kicking out of the smoke, I think we see the glider, and I kick back on the engine, and I'll do flotsam and jetsam. Is that the one I want to do? I do the one where I drop the rope ladder.
Yep.
Oh, nice. I'll climb up that rope ladder, and I'm just like, Cat, I just need a little bit of help. Please don't hang this over my head later on.
Always.
I know.
What are sisters for?
So as all this is happening, the smoke starts to clear. You can see Kilo. When you get up on that ladder, you can see him, and he puts the switch down, and the side of the trailers blow off. And underneath the actual trailer, there is an excavator mounted to the top of, mounted to where the back of the semi was. And you see a dude with kind of skull face paint and an old military helmet getting into the getting into the box in the excavator to get it working and get it rolling. But while this happens and the sides blow off, Kilo kind of falls off to the side and he staggers around for a second and he turns. And as he turns, you just hear like the revving of this motor almost sounds kind of like when you had an RC car as a kid and you're revving that electric motor as hard as it can. He turns around and the camera just darts in quickly. His eyes get big, and that was the last thing he sees as he gets engorged by the pinhead. It just explodes. There's just gore everywhere. Even if they had like cybernetic parts, there's nothing for them to put back together. And then the pinhead just kind of drives off and then just stops, I guess, when you're done using it.
Yeah, I guess it just kind of like veers off the road and it goes into a ditch.
Blood and chrome everywhere and just drops into a ditch. And, you know, it sounds like the little car like revving because it's still trying to go, but there's nothing to go. You guys are in the sky right now. The excavator is going to start to maneuver and start to try to attack you. Now, in your headset, Croc hits you back up with some slightly reassuring news. Says, Wolf blew a hole in their line. Boar is in the Bradley tank. We still got a chance. And then the voice is immediately cut off to the sound of gunfire and explosions. So you guys have made it all the way through to the final boss of episode 1. It is pretty gnarly looking because it is a full-size excavator. And I'm going to drop this in the chat so you can all see what it looks like. The vehicle will not be moving. It is a stationary target because somebody ran a motorcycle into it and caused it to break down on the side of the road. With that being said, it's going to use its first attack called log jamming. It is going to reach down and grab a log, essentially like something that's about half the size of a telephone pole, and hurl it at the glider. The glider is going to take 10 points of damage. It's going to take 1 ongoing guts penalty, and you will have a +1 penalty to your action checks until the end of my next turn. So what does everyone want to do?
My plan was to create some weird centrifugal force anyways. So even though I'll be fighting against that thing's action, I do want to just flip around with the intent being to allow bats to build up as much velocity as they want at the end of the rope ladder that they are on. So I'm trying to essentially twist and move with this thing as it hits us and deal with that in a way that supports my little sister. That feels like an action check. I don't know if you have another one.
Yeah, make an action check. Well, it's going to be make it an action check +2 because you have that ongoing penalty.
I rolled a 1, baby.
You got it. Yeah, you managed to do it. You're whipping it around. So essentially, you're doing the roller derby move. You're going to try to whip your sister at the excavator.
Yeah, and Mom used to always say, "Don't whip your sister," but it turns out
it's actually
We've
the
got
thing
some
to do.
practice in.
Yeah. So, what is Bat going to do?
I'm going to try and land on the excavator and hang on to it for dear life.
Are you going to do it at the arm, or are you going to do it at the base?
At the arm.
Okay. Just make it. Just make an action check +1 for me.
All right. That's a 5 +1. That's a 6.
Excuse me 1 second. Hey, Papa Tony, what's up?
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
My daughter Lottie, he got the car.
Yeah.
Block the sidewalk and part of the can't move that car out of there.
Yep. I'll let him know. No problem.
Call him up.
I'll call him right now.
that was the most New Jersey Italian experience ever to happen on this stream. I just want you to know that.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
It's pretty great. Give me 1 second here, real quick.
Absolutely.
I love Jersey.
And so
Bat makes it down. You get on. So you're at the point where you're right above where the claw is. You're by the mechanism at the very top of the excavator. So, Sally, what are you doing?
What am I gonna do? I'm just gonna use the Gatling gun and try to aim for the dude working the excavator.
Okay, roll your damage.
So first shot is nope, doesn't hit. Second one, 6 points of damage.
Okay. So the excavator is still going. This time, it is going to use its swing for the fences attack, where it's going to spin and attempt to hit both the gyrocopter and the glider. Make an action check +3 for me, Kat.
That's another
What'd you
one.
get?
It's another one.
Okay. That, make an action check for me +3.
2.
All right. So you managed to hold on. Now it's trying to buck you. It doesn't know that you're there, but just the movement of it as is, it's trying to toss you. Manages to miss the glider, but does 6 points of damage to the gyrocopter.
All right.
So what does everyone want to do?
I'm gonna pull back up and climb out of this thing's reach and go as high as I can this turn.
Okay. And what's the gyrocopter doing?
I'm gonna try to. You know what? I got a little more luck points left in this gyrocopter. I'm gonna try to keep shooting with the Gatling gun at this dude working the excavator.
Okay.
First one is 5 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Second one is 2 points of damage.
All right, it's still up, but you're doing some damage. What's Bat doing?
I am going to try and wreck this arm. So I'm gonna shoot at it.
Okay, make two shots at the arm.
2 and 8.
All right, so the 8 does some damage to it. It's now going to be reducing the damage it's going to do from any of its attacks. It's still up, though. You still got a little ways to go to defeat this excavator. It is going to do its cinder block. Actually, yeah, it's going to do its cinder block surprise attack. It's going to try to hit the glider as the glider is flying up with a cinder block. It is going to do 2 points of damage to the glider.
Okay.
But you're not going to take any penalty to the action check because it just kind of wings you. Cinder block at the gyrocopter, it is going to do 3 luck points of damage to the gyrocopter. And then you will get +2 penalty to your action checks until the end of your next turn. And that's it for the Helcavator. What is everyone else doing?
I'm gonna cut power to the engines and go into stealth mode and just kind of circle for a minute.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pull out one of the sticky bombs and open the back of it with my Omni tool.
Okay, you got it.
I'm abandoning ship with the gyrocopter. I'm gonna hop down and just hand-to-hand combat this dude working the excavator.
Love it. And what is Bat doing?
Hold on. I would like to abandon ship on the gyrocopter. Bat, where on the arm are you? Are you like near the elbow of it, near the like wrist, near the hand?
Just by the hand.
I would say by the hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I want to send the gyrocopter after I hop out right towards the like elbow. Just fly it right into the elbow of the excavator.
Then you're going to try to shoot the guy when you get to the base of the...
Yeah, but I mean, my main thing is I want to safely get out of the gyrocopter, and then I want to let the gyrocopter keep flying right at the elbow of the excavator.
Okay. Bat, make an action check +1 because you're wearing the wingsuit for me.
All right. Oh, I got a 6.
Okay, you got it. Roll 3d10 for me.
All right, 9 plus 7, 16. 19.
All right. Cool. And Tony, what are you doing?
I think cinematically what we see is I'm messing with the timer on one of these sticky bombs, as I'm just kind of circling with dead air, and then kind of working I'm just kind of circling while working on one of these sticky bombs, to disable the timer and have it be an impact bomb instead.
You can drop. Yeah, you can just do that all in the same thing.
Cool.
You can drop.
I don't want to drop it.
Okay.
That is not the intent.
Okay. So the gyrocopter, almost out of juice, goes flying towards the main elbow part of the arm of the excavator. Bat dives off and starts gliding through the air. It impacts. It explodes. It tips the entire thing over, and it hits the ground. A dude with the skull face paint and the helmet starts climbing out of the cockpit area of the excavator, bloodied, looks pretty banged up, and he reaches down, he pulls out a machine gun, and he's starting to look at something to shoot at. What does everyone want to do?
I would like to tilt the nose of the glider straight down towards this guy in the base of the excavator, and then toss that sticky bomb in with the other 8 remaining sticky bombs as I start to plummet down towards the excavator and this guy.
You do it. You dip, you drop, and you cruise out. As this explodes in the background, Tony, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I think as I detach the glider wings at the last second and let the heat wave carry me up, I just say, looks like both of us can fly now.
Well, that's it. The helicopter's been exploded into 1,000 pieces, and as the glider is flying towards the screen, you just see the explosion in the back, a mushroom cloud of, electricity and carbon and into the air. As this is happening, you hear Croc say over your headset, almost breathlessly, "Some of us got away, some didn't. Meet up at the silo." And the radio goes dead. In the distance, you see a 2040 Trans Am pull up. It's the 50th anniversary edition, Smokey and the Bandit edition Trans Am. And out of it pops Fox. Behind him, a small pickup truck with a small trailer full of motorcycles behind him. Crow steps out, says, "Come on, guys, it's time to go. Let's roll." And that is episode 1 of Children of Uma.
Awesome. Yay! We did it.
We wrecked a whole bunch of vehicles.
Yeah. Bat really has to do a better job taking care of the vehicles that I loan them.
I will say, I've play tested this a lot. I've played it with different groups. This is the single most vehicle wreckage that I have ever experienced. To the point where I'm like, they have like 2 flying vehicles, and there's 3 of them. But it was definitely
We're
like,
just like, if
We could just get new ones.
If we can't have the cars, nobody can.
That's right.
Exactly.
I loved it. Let's do our reaction roll. Reaction roll is a live stream inside of a live stream. It's our chance to sit down with the creator of a game we just played and talk to them about our experience playing that game. Today, we are playing Children of Uma, the latest installation in the 3-2-1 action series by John McGuire and a whole host of amazing people. We just finished playing. We're going to talk about our thoughts. John, for people who are just joining us, tell us a little bit about 3-2-1 action as a whole. Also tell us about Children of Uma.
So 3-2-1 action is a cinematic storytelling RPG system. If you've ever wanted to play your favorite movie from start to back, this is the system for you to do it. It runs off a single D10. Everything is 3, 2, or 1 when it comes to bonuses or penalties. It was written by myself and George Colazzo, Gio Colazzo, my partner and co-writer and everything. We came up with this system together because we really wanted something that had practically no barrier to entry for people who wanted to get into RPGs for the first time, and also give people the opportunity to comfortably play the characters they want to play and tell the stories that they want to tell. So we're pretty excited about that. And then Children of Uma is our latest adventure for 321 Action. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic Dust Bowl in 2060 Kansas. Geo came up with this crazy idea for this car battle game. We were supposed to be writing a horror adventure. He's like, buddy, I have an idea. And so now we are doing a Mad Max meets the Warriors post-apocalyptic style car vehicle battle RPG.
Awesome. I have had a blast. I got to sit down on one of the play tests. I was also super excited to have you on to play again. I also love the art. Speaking of which, we got one of the artists here with us. Sally, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, where folks can find you online, but also tell us a little bit about creating the art for some of the art for 321 for Children of Uma.
Yeah, I'm Sally Cantorino. I am a comic book artist. I work on Human Remains and I Walk with Monsters from Vault Comics. I also do RPG art, so I've done a couple things. You can find my work bouncing around different games on Exalted Funeral, and I've done a bunch of work for 321 Action. I did the cover for Escape from Point Nemo, and I've done the cover for Children of Uma, along with the character designs, and I'm just doing some other interior art here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the other part of the question?
That was a lot of it. But you've gotten to play the game a good bit. Tell us a little bit about some of your favorite parts about Children of Uma. And if you have any questions for John that for whatever reason you haven't asked or just want to ask publicly again, go ahead and hit him with those. If you're watching right now and you have questions, let us know also.
Yeah, I mean, I've probably play tested it a couple times since the first, probably every time you play tested it, I've jumped in. So it's been fun to watch it evolve and figure out the mechanics for like how to deal with both like the vehicles and the people in them. You know, figuring out, well, how are we gonna how are we gonna deal with damage or guts penalties with cars and with like people in the cars. So it's been fun watching that develop. As for the character designs, like I kind of just got the list of like different animals that it was going to be, and then like I just grabbed a stock like bike helmet and was just like, well, I'll just draw on top of it, and it's like figuring out how to make the silhouettes look different, pulling from different styles. Like when I think I did Bat's helmet, I was looking at I think maybe Mayan artwork of how they drew like animal heads and bats. For dog, I was looking at the like lion dogs from like Chinese sculpture. So it was fun kind of being like, well, how can I like pull different ideas and reference them in these helmets?
Yeah, I mean, Geo, he's got such a brain on him, and he was like, I think we should do all of the characters as animals. So everyone's an animal. So I'm like, oh, they're gonna be mutants. He goes, no, because they're people. And he wanted to do the thing with the motorcycle helmets and having the molded motorcycle helmets with it. So I know I'm the public face of 321 Action, but like I honestly God, we couldn't do it without Geo. His ideas and what he brings to the things that we do together really do elevate everything that we do in every way. But I'm the hair in the mouth, so I'm the one that's people always see first and people talking about. I always like to make sure I bring him up on these things because I don't ever want anyone to think that it's just me, because I got a partner, his name is Geo, and he is the best at making these games great with me. So shout out to him. I don't know if he's ever gonna watch this, but if you do, I said nice things about you.
No, I love it. Like I said, it's been really great to see the entire way that you pull the team together and that the team comes together to kind of surround these things, which I love is so important. But I think, like I constantly am telling people, I think 321 is one of the best RPGs to come out of the last couple of years, especially people who are just looking to pick up and play, especially if you're a nervous first-time GM, because the way the writing is done gives you so much to build on. Like it lets you kind of know what the scenes are all about. I think it teaches timing and pacing and flow really well if you don't know how to manage those without it ever being like restrictive or like you have to do this thing right here, right now. I think the writing style gives tons of details while being very free, which is a very hard space to hit. And I think you and Gio do a tremendous job getting there. But Banana, how about you? Tell people who you are, what you do, and what it was like for you to play Children of Uma.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm Banana. I am a game designer and game publisher. And I really like the simplicity of the system. Like, honestly, just like 1d10, rolling that. And like, you know, being able to like read through all the characters and like, you know, everything. It's just like so easy to pick up. Like, I think that that's my favorite part of this game. It's just like, you know, you could read through this in like 15, 20 minutes and just get a handle on how to play immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That's honestly, that's all we've ever wanted. Was for people to be like, yeah, we could do this, you know?
Yeah, and the art's amazing. Like, I love the helmet so much.
All the art is so tremendous. I keep on really wanting to get those magnetic axes into play, and I keep on never picking anybody who has them. Banana, you played my favorite character in this. I think I will say for all the 3-2-1 games, but especially for this one, I love every single character. Like, they're all so enjoyable, but Bat is 100% my favorite. Did you enjoy playing Bat? Because I love
I love her. I mean, I usually play like chaotic characters. Like, I just like chaotic characters, and she was just like very chaotic, or at least I thought she was chaotic in my mind. So yes, I loved her.
Did you have any questions you wanted to ask John?
Oh yeah, I guess like what was the play or like the development process like with like the system? Like, how'd you come up with like the 1d10?
So that's awesome. That's a great question. So my goddaughter, actually. So first part of the pandemic, I'm lucky to live in a home where, I mean, you just met Gio's dad. We all live together in a house, a multi-level house. So I live in the same house. So, my pod had a back staircase that was different people I could interact with throughout the whole thing. So a lot of time my goddaughter, and she's going to be 5, but the first part of the pandemic, she's like watching a lot of Sesame Street, watching a lot of kids' educational television. And, initially when I started doing this, I started by myself. I started because, I always wanted to write, and I wanted to make sure that I did something during the pandemic. And so I started writing this. It's going to be a D100 system. And so I showed it to Gio before he was like fully involved. And he's like, why don't you really want it to be simple for people? Why don't you make it a D10? And I was like, I don't know, because that's like really different than people are used to. But then I'm hanging out with her, and she's like watching, and she's learning her ABCs and her 1, 2, 3s. And, I thought in that moment that most people, and it seems like a broad generalization, but most people can count to 10. And when it comes to adding penalties or bonuses, you tie it into the name. It's a gimmick, 3, 2, 1 action. It's simple addition, simple subtraction, and it doesn't need to be overwhelming for people to come in and be like, well, what dice do I need to roll for what? Because I love, with the fire of 1,000 burning suns, Dungeons and Dragons. However, people coming into it for the first time, they see 7 different dice and different modifiers and different things for each one. It's a little bit stifling. With this, it's just like you roll 1 dice, you count to 10, you add or subtract 1, 2, 3 either way. And that's where it came out. And the roll below thing is, I think, the easiest way to translate adding and subtracting something. I'm not in love with THACO, and trying to roll below a certain way for that, but this actually does work because it's just, you're adding, you're subtracting from the roll. And if you roll a 10 and you got a +3 and it's 13, but your stat is 7, how much you're going to need to adjust to make that roll or see what happens.
If you are watching right now, you have any questions, feel free, drop them in. Also, if there's people have thoughts, I was telling Scott in the chat, I love all 3-2-1 action games. Children of Uma feels the most unhinged, and it comes down to like a certain line that you use whenever you introduce it, and that's you're always going the maximum speed possible. Which I think, especially like with characters that are like you're always on the move, you're always going, like Bat and Cat, it's really easy to also lean into like, yeah, just keep on moving to the next thing. I also, when we started, was like, oh, none of us took any high damage. Like there are starting vehicles we can take that deal out a lot of damage, and I love the way that the damage works for Children of Uma. The fact that a lot of attacks on certain vehicles will do direct guts damage, which means you're like, I'm doing the things that quickly makes this vehicle not functional rather than wearing down its hit points. And I love that both things are options. I think the way you've designed is incredibly good.
Thank you.
But like it's a very smart, and I love having played all three with you, being able to pick up on the subtle nuances of Rockets to Russia versus Point Nemo versus Children of Uma, the way the characters are built a little bit differently, the feel and the flow. But the cinematic, like, unhinged realities of Children of Uma are my favorite part, because I do remember playing Blat the first time and being like, letting somebody launch me in front of everything and this slowing down and slamming into the window to blind people repeatedly as a trope. Or this time being like, yeah, I want to pop in and then shoot a gun at the ground and try to flip this giant thing over. Which then, wasn't even like guts damage. It's just like, yeah, that ruins this thing,
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a certain amount of luck points for each vehicle. And when you are fighting on the ground, like say if you're in Point Nemo and you are a character, something shooting at you or trying to hit you with a machete, right? There's very specific ways this can go. But this is, and it's something that I figured out from playtesting. It's something that I figured out from watching a lot of Fast and Furious movies, watching Mad Max, Death Race 2000. It's just that if it's going to happen, it's not like you're trying to whittle down a boss on your feet, or like casting a spell and trying to, fight something one-on-one. If you're in a vehicle, it's you versus like gravity. It's you versus, impact. It's you versus like so many different things that, the luck points in Children of Uma when it comes to the vehicles are just suggested. There was probably more luck points that I could have used for the Helcavator, but it didn't matter because you guys all had done what you needed to do. So, one of the things that we love doing in action is not drawing out the battle, not drawing out the combat. It's not about, well, I need you to whittle down every luck point that you can. It's about, are you having fun? Did you do something cool? Is it a good time to go home? And that's how we do it. I was very lucky because working with George, he had the idea and he just starts writing the story. And so as he writes the story, I'll start filling in the combat, and I start building vehicles, and we go back and forth on vehicle powers, and we go back and forth on, how things work. Like Pinhead essentially, I initially statted Pinhead out like a boss, and he's like, it's going to be a mini boss. I was like, fine. So like, we scale it down some, but in the moment with every different people that we play with, everyone's play style is a little different. I will say for this though, everyone's playstyle has been generally the same, which is try to like wreck as much stuff as you can. So you can adjust, and what I like about the system is, we want you to be comfortable enough to adjust on the fly to make sure everybody, including yourself as the game runner, is having a blast. So, that's why the motorcycles, like, they went down a lot faster than they would on paper, because you guys were doing some cool stuff.
I had a blast. I want to come back to, I think we only had one suggestion for what to call it. I think that was Hambonia from Shane over on YouTube. Let's come back to the 3, 2, 1 action cinematic universe.
I'll write that down.
The stories are interconnected. You've got a lot of different pieces. There's like in the Rockets to Russia, there's like the DJ who's kind of letting you know that there's a bigger peek into some of the world. The Amphicora, the fish people attacking out of the sea is connected to all of those different things. I hope Kevin is still around somewhere as an ancient Amphicora and 3 Children of Uma, and I'm sure you don't have to give us any spoilers, but I'm sure we'll find out one way or the other what
we have a good idea. We have an idea for that.
But talk a little bit about what it's like kind of from the get-go, because I think that's something sometimes that comes later from people, but it was an early conception for y'all that these narratives are connected in this bigger universe in a way that I think is akin to like, all right, we're going to put out Iron Man and see if people like this. All right, cool. Now we're going to put out 2,000 more of these movies and see how much money we can make, which I know you guys are tracking right alongside Marvel in that as far as income. So it's really great, great to see. But talk about creating kind of that larger cinematic universe and what that looks like in conversation between you and Gio.
So it's pretty cool. He was the one who had the idea to kind of make it a more of a shared universe. Like there was things that I wanted to do because basing it in the real world, you can do that in a lot of ways because there are things that are going on in other places while you are the main character in the story that you're playing. I thought we were done with the Amphicora after Escape from Point Nemo, but he was like, no, he's like, this is what I want to do. He's like, we created these awesome creatures, like why not keep using them? So that's why the Amphicora ultimately end up taking over most of the world, and that's why we had to fight them off. But like as we started doing that, started talking about that, I had ideas. There's going to be an upcoming horror story that Bridget Branson, who is in Escape from Point Nemo, she's going to be in as one of the main characters now, because Bridget Branson and Captain Gayle were originally the main heroes of Point Nemo when I started working on it, beginning of the pandemic. But as we were doing it together, Gio fell in love with Alexis, and it was like we should make her the main hero of the story. So we did. However, in one of the pamphlet games, Grounded for Life, you get Captain Teresa Gayle's last adventure, which is you play the kid, your grandma's favorite. You need to break her out of the nursing home for one last adventure. And that's free right now on 321actiongames.com. There's a print and play version of that. But so we used her, a little further in the future. And then Bridget Branson's going to come in a later horror story, which I like because you have these characters that are going to also exist in worlds where there is the Amphicora sea creatures. There's going to be these characters that also exist in the same world as vampires and as other monsters. And we just figured out the quick draw mechanic for a Western adventure. So, there could be an ancestor of someone who's in the Western adventure, or something that, if you're looking at maybe in the heist game, something that was the MacGuffin in the Western adventure could also be the MacGuffin in the modern day heist game. And so you don't have to have played any other story to really get the enjoyment of it. However, if you've been following along from the beginning, and you're a fan of something, all those little Easter eggs or characters when they pop up, it feels really cool to be a part of that, and to kind of have that kind of oh yeah, this is why this is so cool, excitement about it. And that's, what we're trying to do. We're trying to build that up.
Awesome. And I know that I know we've talked about this, I think, since the first one. But I am still curious because I think it's such a tremendous system. I think y'all do so much great work to create these kind of intro series of here's where you're at now. But also once you're done, you have the characters, you have the tools, you have everything you need to go play around wherever you want to in the space. You don't need to necessarily keep on following that pattern. Or if you just want to pick it up and use those characters and play your own thing, you can. All the tools are there. Have y'all given more thought into what it'll look like potentially to open this up for other creators to either invite them in to work with y'all or to open it up to other people who want to use the system to build their own things?
Oh yeah. I mean, so it's been in the works for a while. We've been trying to write a style guide while doing all these other things. But this is the one, I guess, dirty secret of all indie creators is that we're not a big business, just two dudes who live in the same building, who are best friends, who love working on stuff together. It's a common misconception because, when people see your products and they look so good, they think that there's a lot more going on than just no, we don't have a team. We're not making money. We're just trying to make these great little books that we love so much. But we started writing a style guide. We started figuring out what the vibe needs to be. We're definitely playing on it. We want to go the Mork Borg, the mothership path where we get other people who really like the system writing their own stories and running with it like that, because I think that's one of the things that I appreciate most about those systems is that they give people the opportunity to really, I have this really cool idea for this. Well, put it out, do it, and it's just, there's only so much time for us to be able to do it. But we're getting there. It's one of the high priority things on our list. And we definitely have people who we do want to work with who, every time like we get deeper into another project, I message them. I'm like, hey, you're still on the radar. We're just not there yet. So there are other people who we're going to be working with in the future who we're going to be really proud to have them writing for action, or even if it's their own thing. Like, it's what we want.
Awesome. Any other questions from anybody? Any other thoughts? Awesome. If you have not yet, go over to ttrpg.link/UmaKS. Check out the current Kickstarter. You can also go to 321actiongames.com. Check out and link to the Kickstarter along with everything else. If you want to get all caught up, there's actually a pledge level, I believe, for that on the Kickstarter, which I think Gorgor Big, a longtime VIP here in our hearts and on our channel, really loved that pledge level also too.
Oh, thanks, man.
Which I think is such a great thing to do is say, if you just finding out about this, hop in, get everything, be ready. John's always one of my favorite creators to get to work with. I was so excited to have Sally and Banana on here with us too. We do have a number of things coming up this week. My life is could be in a shambles, but it's not. It's had a death in the family. We were going to be traveling this week and then just found out my son has COVID. So all that'll change. We'll be taking most of the first half of the week off just to remotely be present to family as much as we possibly can be. But you will see us back next weekend playing some Death Grind Megastructure, which came out of the Together We Jam, along with some interviews and other content coming out later in the week. So keep an eye on all that stuff. Best place to find us is at +1EXP across most social media platforms. And just stay up to date on what we're up to. If you want to support us, and you're watching on Twitch right now, there's a ton of links down below. If you're on YouTube, you can click over to go check those things out. Please go support the campaign if you're able. If you're not able to directly monetarily support it right now, totally understandable. The best thing you can do is help get the word out. Share it with somebody who runs games in your area, your friendly local game store. See if they want to pick up a number of copies, or just share it on social media. You can tag at 321 Games across all social media platforms whenever you do that, or tag us and we will also share it. But with that said, we don't have a good way that we ever have figured out how to end stream. So until next time, we're just going to wave at the camera until I take us off air. Thanks everybody for coming. We'll see y'all soon.
Thank you.